On the vast African grassland, there are living two groups of sheep, which are separated by a river. Here's a very interesting thing. The sheep living on the western bank can bear more babies and can run 13 meters per minute faster than those living on the eastern bank. But actually, the two groups of sheep are generically the same, and their food source and the living environment are also the same. But why there is such a big difference between the two groups of sheep? Why? Exactly, you got it. The only difference is a group of wolves are living on the western bank. And after that, the scientist had made a very interesting experiment this time. He moved 10 sheep on each bank to the opposite bank. And a half a year later, the sheep moved to the eastern bank, become 14. And the sheep move on to the western bank, become only 3. And the other 7 were killed by the wolves. So what we can learn from this story? So should the sheep living on the western bank deliver their sincere thanks to the wolves? Definitely yes. Because the sheep living on the western bank are more competitive and much stronger and more powerful with the existing of these wolves. Right? So think about ourselves. Just imagine if you would take part in a speech contest, but you are the only participant. Yeah, sure, of course, you can become the champion without any effort, because you are the only participant. There's no competitor. But just suppose if Sam will also join the contest, what will we do?
Kill him.
I guess you will try our best to compete with him, right? Because a strong enemy can keep you with the sense of tension all the time and stimulate your passion and spirit enormously. However, it is said that the biggest enemy in our lives is ourselves. Why do I say that? Let me take some examples. We may be mistreated or treated unfairly in our very complicated working connections. Or maybe we will encounter a lot of pressures from our bosses, from our customers. Or maybe we will face a lot of other difficulties and frustrations and obstacles in our daily life and work. What will we respond? Maybe sometimes we will complain to them. We will give up, maybe. Sometimes we may hate them, and sometimes we may take revenges to them. But actually, this kind of difficulties and obstacles and the frustration and pressures are the biggest wolves that make us much stronger and let us know that life is not a plain sailing at all. So why don't we face them with a big, big smile? Right? As we all know, Li Ning, who did the mainframe of 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, do you know he ever failed in 1988 Seoul Olympiad? But every time he failed, he had given the audiences and his teammates with a big, big smile. My dear friends, our enemies, the pressures or the obstacles or difficulties are actually the storms we have to experience before we can enjoy the rainbow. However, we can never see the rainbow without the storms. And they are also zigzag paths before we can reach the peak of the mountain. However, we can never reach the peak of the mountain without these zigzag paths. We can never be a good sailor unless we experience the storms. So my dear friends, let us deliver our great thanks and gratitude and appreciations to our enemies. Thank you. And now I ask you, how many of you will face the difficulties and your enemies and obstacles with a big, big smile in the future? Can I see your hand? Thank you very much. Back to Madam Toastmaster.